Hi there, welcome back to Good Morning Sports Fans. We start this hour with some breaking news. Let's get straight to Everton and our reporter Vinny O'Connor. Vinny, what can you tell us?
Okay, so you've flagged some really interesting news coming out about Arsenal. Seems there's talk of, well, a massive bid, 80 million euros for Viktor Gyokeres.
Yeah, 80 million. That's the figure being reported.
So our deep dive today, it's really about digging into why. Why that kind of money, and what makes Gyokeres the guy they're reportedly after?
Well, the first thing, the scale of it, 80 meters, that immediately tells you there's serious belief there. It's not pocket change, is it?
Definitely not.
And the reports we're looking at, they seem to heavily feature the new sporting director, Andrea Berta. His perspective seems pretty central to this.
Right, Berta. And the line is he sees Gyokeres as the ideal fit for Mikel Arteta's system. So, okay, what does that mean? What are the qualities they're looking at?
So the reports suggest Berta's honed in on a few key things. Obviously, the clinical finishing.
Can't ignore that.
No. Then there's his physical presence, being a real handful up front.
Yeah.
And also a relentless work rate that comes up a lot.
Okay, work rate, physicality, finishing. That sounds very Arsenal under Arteta, doesn't it?
It does. And what's interesting is how the reports frame it. It's not just that he scores, but how these strengths fit into the bigger picture, the whole tactical vision.
So it's about the system fit, not just the individual stats.
Exactly. For instance, some reports mention he's really effective one-on-one and converting chances inside the box specifically, maybe areas they feel need bolstering.
And speaking of stats, this is where it gets kind of crazy. The numbers being reported are huge.
Yeah, tell me about it.
95 goals in just 100 appearances for his club in Portugal.
95 and 100. That's incredibly consistent. That's the kind of record that obviously turns heads at major clubs.
Absolutely. You can see why that would be a massive factor. If you're spending 80 million, you want some proof of end product, right?
Precisely. It provides that concrete evidence that, this is a player who knows where the goal is consistently. In the final third, he delivers.
So for you listening, if you want to cut to the chase, this signing, if it happens, could be a real game changer for Arsenal's attack.
Yeah, you have to think about the impact. Adding someone with that kind of scoring frequency, it potentially unlocks different ways to play, different threats.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? What are those aha moments Arteta and Berta are picturing?
Yeah.
How does he change the dynamic?
Well, yeah, and you could look at things like, say, his reported ability to hold up the play, bring others in. Does that add another layer to their build-up near the goal?
Good point. But I guess there's always the flip side, too.
Sure. You could ask, okay, great record in Portugal, but how does that translate to, say, the Premier League? It's a tougher lead, arguably. Would the rate stay that high? It's a valid question.
And we absolutely have to stress here, this is all based on reports. We aren't confirming a transfer. We're not saying it's a definite success if it happens.
No, not at all. Our focus is just understanding the why. Why this player? Why now? Why this reported fee based on the information that's circulating?
We're just dissecting the logic presented in these reports.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's quickly recap then. The big news. Arsenal's reported 80 million bid for Viktor Gyokeres. Driven, reports suggest, by the new sporting director, Andrea Berta, who sees him as a perfect tactical match for Arteta.
Right, highlighting that clinical finishing, his physical presence, and that nonstop work rate.
And all backed up by that seriously impressive goal tally, 95 goals in 100 games.
And maybe zooming out slightly, it really shows how top clubs operate, doesn't it? It's not just, is this guy talented? It's, does his specific talent fit our very specific system?
Yeah, that tactical integration piece is huge.
It seems to be, especially at this level.
So that leaves you, the listener, with something to chew on. Think about a team like Arsenal, already so defined by its tactical approach. What happens when you potentially drop a player with Gyokeres' profile, the reported scoring power and physicality into that existing structure?
How does individual potency interact with a well-oiled machine?
Exactly. What's that interplay look like? Something to consider.